Chris and Rich here from the Foiling Mag doing a deep dive review on the FreeWing AIR, which comes in a big range of sizes from 2.5 up to 6 meters. Pictures there, sort of versatile, go everywhere wing.
So this has got a lot going on from a materials perspective. There is no denying it at all. So we start off with a 260 gram cloth in this center section, which attaches to the strut. So this area they purposefully reinforced and made more beefy, makes a lot of sense. Then the gray material here, they've graded it out into 160 gram. And then even further, like into the wingtip here, there's a softer Dacron. So gradually things are getting more flexible as you go out, which gives the wing a kind of good response, I'd say. Like when you pump it, it seems to give that nice reflex,
really stiff
effect.
I found you could pump so much power into this, and it had that pull when you're pumping it. It's in the belly. So like some wings, it sort of pulls from the edge and it's hard and it sort of throws you off balance. This was there, like in the middle of it.
Yeah.
And I guess that's the tips giving a little bit.
Yeah. Along the trailing edge here, to mitigate any flapping from this kind of quite crisp and dense material, they've really gone to town and put 3 quite long fiberglass battens in. When these fold down, they actually kind of meet where the boom folds, so it all tucks away really easily. So in this front section here, before it grades out into the kind of cross-ply material, you've got a 95 gram ripstop. So it's just a heavyweight ripstop, just to soften this leading edge. Into the canopy, we've got something completely unique to the kind of FreeWing environment, is this cross-ply material, which is probably the back sort of 4/5 of the sail here. This is only 86 grams a square meter. So although it looks like an old school windsurf material, it's actually very modern. And I think it's got this PE mesh and it's really tough, isn't it? Super tough.
This can take a beating.
Yeah. So we tested this to the maximum test level,
Pretty much.
Got some good footage of Chris getting absolutely hammered in some surf.
And it was like clear as day, that session which we took this out on, I think a lesser wing wouldn't have made it through.
Yeah.
But this thing took a beating and it hasn't even flinched at it whatsoever.
From a longevity perspective as well, this stuff's not going to bag out.
No.
Like that's not moving anywhere.
It's the sort of wing which you can imagine in 10 years' time, your uncle pulling out the garage. And it's still stiff, it's still working.
Yeah, it's going to be like a legacy windsurf kit. It's going to be around forevermore.
But every time we've pulled it out the bag, I've looked at it and I've gone to pick it up thinking it's going to be heavy, but it's not. This wing's surprisingly light.
So we put this on our scales with the handle on and without the leash, and it came in at like 3.2.
Yeah.
So probably without the handle, I guess it's 2.8 or whatever they specified, or 2.9.
2.9, yeah.
So it's surprisingly light. It looks heavy, but it's not. No. And in its handling, it's not heavy either, is it?
I found it really well balanced. You know, not just in its general weight, but as then you power it up and you get going along, it's kind of front hand, back hand, kind of tip pressure. Yeah. It feels really planted and comfortable.
Yeah, nice even sort of bar pressure between your forearm and your rear arm as well. This boom, so this is removable with some torque screws. And it's got it's almost like an egg-shaped profile, this one. So it has a kind of little bit running along the back here, but it feels really comfortable and it allows you to give the wing a bit of a twist. So if you go through a tack and you need to correct it slightly, if a gust hits the top of it, you can twist it out of trouble. It's
also quite narrow diameter. So I think for people with smaller hands, this is going to be really comfortable to use as well.
Yeah.
The leash, which it comes with, is really nice. I like this. It's the good classic Dyneema that they put swivel on. I always like it when they put a little bit of extra details into that. It comes as standard with a waist leash, right?
Yeah, because it comes straight out of the bag. The bag's quite tall because it obviously has to fit the boom in, but it's dead easy to get it in and out. It's got a nice drain vent in the bottom of it.
It really surprised me taking this wing out, is that at first value, when you pull it out the bag and you think it's going to be heavy, but it's not. And it's got quite a bit of span, quite a bit of width, and you think it's going to be quite cumbersome to manage. Yeah. But actually it's really nimble and it's really well balanced and it's really fun to just ride around on.
Considering it's a 5.5, which is probably the top end of what being used on a sort of daily basis, you know, normally those wings feel pretty cumbersome. Like pile on top of that like a different canopy material, and you have to really, like alter your perceptions on how it handles.
Yeah.
Because it's completely different. It's not like that at all.
It's always nice when you pick up a product, you've made a conception of how you think it's going to be, but then you stand completely corrected.
Yeah.
And this is one of those products, I think, is it's actually really nimble and it's really fun. I found when you're going through turns, it drifts really well downwind, but then it's got so much grunt with this really full belly, it still slices surprisingly well upwind and through attack as well.
Yeah. So basically everything we thought about this when we looked at it was wrong.
Yeah. Totally.
These windows, so you've got two different sort of window sections. This one's quite effective as a kind of peephole, but I don't know whether this is a slight nod towards racing, because although it's like a free ride wing, I guess you could use it for racing. You know, it's got a boom, it's got windows, it's relatively powerful and nimble. At
the same time, it's comfortable in the waves and taken out in waves. You know, a 5.5 meter wing isn't something you generally choose in the waves, but you grab hold of the front hand and the front handle is stiff and it's rigid and it flattens really well and it trails behind you relatively light and it's happy in that free wing, light, flagged out position as you shoot down a wave.
Yeah, I think it's probably the best wing they've done to date that we've tested. Yeah. I know there's a team version which is probably a bit lighter. I think it's got slightly different tube material, so it'd be really interesting to test that as well. It's got quite a lot of span, hasn't it? Because obviously it's 5.5 meter. But if you see like the wingtips are just gently tucked in, so it's not that, you know, it's never really feels cumbersome, but I think that helps.
Yeah, exactly. It's definitely, like, for me, who it's for is, I think anybody could appreciate this wing.
Yeah,
I think, you know, anybody could pick it up and they can use it, and whether you're into wave riding or freestyle or free racing, it kind of can do it all, right? It doesn't maybe excel in any of them, but it's a jack of all trades in all of them.
It's a proper free ride wing, is how I'd describe it.
Which you know is going to be durable.
Yeah, which will be around much longer than us, probably, at this rate. I mean, that thing's solid. I guess the airframe would probably fail before this stuff, like in really long-term testing. Be interesting to see.
Good wing. Per size, I'd say it's pretty true to size, if not a bit more powerful per size. So this 5.5 felt powerful for its size, and you could maybe consider dropping a size compared to what you used to. Surprisingly versatile, really good.
Versatile, way more nimble than you'd think, and quite a surprise for us.
Very good.
So there we go. So that's our summary of the FreeWing AIR.